All right, everybody. Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast, episode 21. Man, we've got a lot to talk about. And with me, I've got the better of the two. Tommy, of course.
Wow, I am flattered. But to be honest, the competition was just so lame that nobody's shocked.
I was going to say, is it a surprise to anybody at this point? It's almost expected. As soon as I say the better one, they just know it's you. And that's not just because I say it, it's because they know it in their hearts.
Is it bad that I'm actually starting to feel bad for the little guy?
Yeah. It comes to a point. But we've told him if we were ever too rough to let us know. And
yeah,
I think he would call us.
I'll ease up. I mean, I feel bad. Keep putting him down.
All right, I guess we won't ask my question when we get to the Patreon questions then.
No, ask away.
Okay. Dude, so June's been pretty crazy for us. I think there's only been 4 Thursdays, but we missed 2 of them. But like we work for both of us and for Shane as well. It's just been like, mobbed. This whole week has been 13-hour work days for me every day. So we'll see what dumb things I say because I'm exhausted tonight.
Yeah, I had 3 11s. Today was my first normal 8. So I'm in a similar boat with you, Jack. Not quite as bad, but
yeah. Well, I guess it was the 4 days. Today's Thursday, so Monday through Thursday were 13. Tomorrow is just like 8 to 1. So however many that's 5 hours. So it's a shorter day.
That's nice.
Day. Not bad. So go home and take a nap, basically. Cool, man. We missed a lot in the past.
Did we?
Week or two. There's been so many spoilers. A lot of good ones. I think at this point, we've either written an article about it or almost every other podcast has probably covered it. So we're not going to necessarily go back and, recap every spoiler and our thoughts on it, especially at this point, because now we're getting to where some of the boxes are already being opened that the stores got and commons are starting to come out. And for us to sit through and try to sort every common, we'd be here for a while. This might be a few-hour episode.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do, and this actually, I'm starting to reminisce, man. This is like our first few episodes because when we started doing the podcast was right before Legacies dropped.
This is exactly like our first episode.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's great. Shane's not here.
I know, right? It's so peaceful. Baby's asleep. Shane's not here.
It's good world. But we'll jump right into mainly looking at the legendaries, and we'll just kind of say like what we want to pull. I haven't written them down, so this is going to be a very, again, I haven't had time to sit down and do any of this. So I guess we could just kind of talk about, out of all these legendaries, we'll just go through. Do we want to just bounce back and forth? We'll each do one and pass it off to the other, bounce it back.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Does that work for you? That works. All right, let's do it to it. All right. First one I want is, I'm looking at the list here, General Grievous's wheel bike.
All right, 100. I'll see you later.
That's actually what I'm trying to avoid the most. In reality, I think I'll go with Ezra Bridger's lightsaber as my first one. It's just a great 2-drop blue weapon, redeploy, 3 damage sides, a 1/2/2. And a little extra on the special if it's on Ezra. And I really want to play Ezra. So it's like, not only is it super good legendary, it goes with a rare that I really just want to keep expanding on and trying him out. So I think, that'll be at the top of my list.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to argue with you about that card being awesome. 2-drop redeploy, all those black damage sides. I think it's just really good. I think you covered it. I definitely would want that in my mix of 6. We're going 6, right? We're not going our full allocation.
Yeah, we'll do 6 each, right? Yeah.
So I'll go. Man, there's just so many. And it's hard because I feel like it's easier to just pick the ones that are going to be highly sought after because. For instance, I don't know. I think the Hailfire droid tank is amazing.
Yes.
But if I don't pull it,
definitely.
I'm not necessarily distraught because I know I'll be able to trade for it. I also like Planetary
Yeah.
Bombardment, but I know I can trade for that. That's not necessarily the most competitive card, but I'll be able to trade for that. It
Where you're
does
not
just
probably
because
going to
it,
be able to get like Luke or something
yeah,
out of trade
it's going to be
easily.
harder to trade for like a Luke. So with that, I'll go Luke Skywalker as my number one. I thought he was busted when I first saw him. I still think that 15 points for what he is incredible with 12 health and three black damage sides that are slightly more difficult to mitigate than your average damage side. I think he's far and away one of the single best, like, in a bubble, one of the best characters in the game, if not the best.
Agreed. I mean, overall, the game hasn't caught up to this new like cost curve, so it's still like the first three sets are just like crazy. Where part of me feels like Luke is still really good, but if you almost compare him within um, Way of the Force and even Legacies, he's not like crazy, crazy bonkers. Oh, I mean, not bonkers. I mean, broken. Like he's still super good. Like I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I think he's well worth his legendary status, and like the fact that it's Luke is really cool. But it's like if you compare to like the original Luke from Awakenings, it's like he's just like a million times better. But if you start to look at Luke in comparison to other stuff, I don't think he's too crazy. But of course, we still have three sets of the old stuff and only two sets of the new. So the the newer stuff is definitely going to be played more and more, I think, and the older stuff is going to fade out as we go on. And that's where I think Luke's in that spot where it's like right now he's just head and shoulders above almost like 2/3 of the other characters.
Yeah, I think that
I mean, even more than that, but
the trend is appearing to be that the characters have gone um, up in power level, and maybe everything else has taken a back seat. I mean, I guess that's not really fair because with upgrades, we've seen things like Ezra's lightsaber and heirloom lightsaber, and even the dagger of Mortis, which is an amazing card. But I feel like the holocron and force speed and chance cube. I'm not so sure we're going to see a lot of zero cost upgrades before. So there are some like I don't want to say minor things, but some differences between if you compare the first cycle, the Awakenings block rather, to what we're seeing in the Legacies block here. We're seeing almost like a change in philosophy, and I don't know if that's because I know Jeremy came on board, I think at the like midpoint of Spirit of Rebellion, so I know that he started having influence there, and even EAW feels a lot different than the rest of that block. So maybe we're seeing a little bit more of Jeremy's input combined with Lucas's here, and it's going to be like this is their piece that they wrote together. So it's interesting, but I definitely think the characters, without a doubt, the health on the characters for their point costs has skyrocketed in this set, and in to a degree in Legacies as well.
yeah, definitely we're seeing like that equal single die point to health. If they cost 12 for a single die, they have 12 health, or however it might be going forward. But yeah, cool. All right, so those are both our first ones. My second one, in reality, I could probably say another blue thing, but to spice it up, I'm gonna cross Luke off my list. I'm not gonna put him because you said him already. I'm gonna say Rex. He excites me. I know, people have been comparing him directly to Ayla, saying he's 2 points more, has the same die, basically, but his focus side is worse than her special. All those things, which I guess makes sense, but that's also in a vacuum of comparing that specific character to another specific character without taking into consideration their abilities or any of the cards after that. And Rex just really looks like a fun deck to play. I don't know how great he'll be with two clone troopers. It could be like a clone trooper and a hired gun type thing, giving you access to yellow. I'm not sure exactly what the answer is there, but just like that idea of that deck just really excites me. And just like the character of Rex in Destiny is super cool for me to have, and just like bringing like a 3-wide deck where like your clone troopers, you need control of the battlefield to do your job well. I don't know. It just really excites me, and he seems like a really cool character and a cool archetype into the game. And Red Hero, I mean, we're not going into all the commons that have been spoiled and uncommons and stuff, but there's been some like pretty good stuff already with there's like that new field medic where it's basically it's like pay 1, heal 2, unless it's the first round, heal 4. Like that's crazy. It's the same cost, so it's like red heroes are getting that little bump, and there's that new one where it's like activate a character, remove any number of an opponent's dice
Blaze
showing
of Glory.
damage to deal that to that character. So it's like those cards can definitely start to push red hero um, above where it has been, which has kind of been in the cellar. So they don't need broken cards; they just need decent cards at this point to bring them up.
Yeah, I'm not sure Rex is the savior of Red Hero, although I do think he's a fine addition to it. I definitely think he's a step in the right direction for Red Hero. I don't see him being the meta. I see him being a fun, solid, still reasonably competitive deck. I think that the one thing about Rex that I like the most might actually be his blaster pistol, which is another legendary on this list. I think that is a really solid upgrade, that you're
Yeah,
allowed
that's
to have
next on my
two of in
list.
play while Rex is alive. Now that's, it's a little odd because I believe it has redeploy, right?
I don't think it does because that
No.
actually bothered me. I think when I saw it, like I wasn't super excited for it because it didn't have that. Um, yeah, I don't see it on here in the
Okay.
spreadsheet that we have, and I think the spreadsheet is pretty accurate. But I'll read Rex's blaster pistol because I don't think it's actually been spoiled. And so if people haven't seen it floating on the internet, it's a 2 cost upgrade. Red hero, obviously, 2 range, plus 2 range, 2 indirect, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. And it says while this upgrade is on Rex, your copies of it are non-unique. And after you activate attached character, if you control the battlefield, you may activate one of your characters.
Yeah,
So
I
it
think
seems
it's really
fine.
good. I mean, you
Yeah,
get 3 damage sides. None of them are paid for. Yes, one's modified. Yes, one's indirect, but that's just good value. And the little caveat that you can activate another character is just it's massive when you're trying to you know control the battlefield frequently. That's a good thing. I mean, yeah, you have Rex's ability, but it can help you get out of a turn. It can set up a nice retreat where you activate your characters a little in a more timely manner, and then you can get in, get out, and force your opponent to end their turn early, especially when you're playing a deck with a bunch of supports in it. I think the pistol is really a solid upgrade. Now I don't know. I don't think the pistol makes my top 6, but I do like it. So for my,
yeah,
I'll go straight chalk for my number 2. I'll take Snoke. I'll go blue all day. I don't care. I think Snoke's awesome, even though I think he fills a similar role to my favorite character in the set, which is Price. I think he fills an extremely similar role to her. But I think Snoke is an intriguing character. Maybe it's because we know so little about the character, or the fact that he just does crazy things in the Force. But that power action really can turn up the heat on your opponent, and I think it's fascinating what he can do.
did you check or get a chance to watch the Hyperloop stream the other day?
I did not. I have
It
I'm
was
surprised you did with how much we've been working.
well, it was at midnight, and I was still doing work. I was entering stuff on spreadsheets on my computer, so I let myself watch that a little bit so I didn't go crazy. But it was they both played Snoke. It was actually Inception, who's a patron of ours as well, versus Bobby Sapphire. And Bobby Sapphire, I think it was like Snoke, Bazine, Stormtrooper, First Order Stormtrooper, and Inception was running Snoke, Cad Bane, and it was just really funny seeing them do damage to Bazine and Cad Bane and like discarding for 3 or 4.
Yeah,
It was just like that's just nuts. I
yeah,
mean, I
the
like
discard is real, and we're gonna see it with Leia and Commando Raid, and God forbid hit and run, like perfect scenario. Oh, you lose your hand, like it's madness.
yeah, those plays are going to be somewhat more common as we go through it, and that's like Snoke. I think I had him in my top 6 as well, so I guess I could expand on that a little bit too. But I think he's really just going to shine in like a 3 wide deck. And specifically, like if we're talking about those 2 games of like the Cad Bane versus the Bazine Snoke Stormtrooper, it was like the discard was cool and fine with Snoke and Bazine because you still had the vehicles to do stuff with. But like when you use Snoke's thing to do 4 discard with Cad Bane, your just damage output like struggles.
Yeah,
And I think Snoke, you just want that flexibility to be able to take like 3 resources or 3 shields or whatever it might be, on a character that's a little less relevant than if you did it on a character in which you need to actually be doing damage with. You know, Kylo, you might run into less of a problem because you probably only ever want to resolve his melee sides, but like Cad Bane, it's super tempting to resolve that 2 discard side, which is good, but it's just might slow your damage output. But I do like Snoke a lot. I've always been I've never really played Blue Villain. Never really enjoyed it. So we'll see what I feel like doing with him. I want him. It seems like a fun character. Like now he's a support role character, so I might be more tempted to play him, but it's also in the back of my mind that he might just be a trade bait because I know a lot of people will be looking for him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to trading him either. Part of the reason that he is in my top 6 would be because he's highly sought after, and like I said, I'm more interested in Price, who, in my opinion, fills a similar-ish role to him. So I would be open to trading a Snoke, unless Shane is really interested in playing Snoke, which from what we've talked about, he is pretty interested in Snoke.
I'll be interested to see what he comes up with Snoke. Just giving
for
Shane
later
an 11.
Later in the day, me and him had a conversation today. Oh, we had some bad ideas. Oh man!
Oh, I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, you also enlighten me soon.
Yeah, I got a hero and a villain deck that I'm going to put together, and they're just, I mean, me and Shane had a brainchild of a deck. I'm just teasing it right now, but it's something special.
All right, you get access to that from our $100 Patreon tier.
Yeah,
subscribe. Now, when you build that, we'll have to bust it out, maybe
because they're going to want their money back after they do this.
All sales are final.
Yeah.
We'll have to do like a TTS gameplay or something if it's that crazy and ends up being a.
The scary part is it might actually be good. It depends on. I think it's a support deck. No surprise because Shane's involved. But I'm just terrified of Mill right now. I think Mill is gonna. I don't know what to expect from Mill, but I'm scared. I'm kind of scared at the beginning of every set of Mill, but Mill is just. It just looks so aggressive between Cassian and Leia in this set, and I'm not really interested in playing Mill, but it just looks really powerful, which means I might have to not play a support deck for a store championship unless my theories on how to combat Mill with a support deck are correct, which we also had that conversation. So we'll put it to the test.
This really, really good podcast put out some spoilers this past week. And there was this one card called Reconstruct.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that card.
Dude, we spoiled it. You have to play the
You're
cards.
right. I'm playing 4 copies of it. Call a judge.
30 cards of the N1 Starfighter. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's roll with it.
I don't remember hard. We're tensioning so hard. This is going to turn into another train wreck.
And I think... Well, at least this is like a topic that people are interested in. I don't even remember what we talked about with the train.
Does anybody really care what we think? I don't know.
People care what you think. I just hit the record button.
How do you make that judgment? I am still lost, but continue.
Well, you said Snoke, and I think I agreed with it. I had Snoke on here as well. I had Rex Blasters on here, so I'll move on. I want... you mentioned him, Cassian. He just seems... fun to play. To me, I really haven't done much testing at all with any way of the Force cards. I was getting so bored that I was still trying them out. Like I made like an Ezra, Ayla, Anakin deck.
I love that character pairing, by the way.
Dude, it's. I think it's pretty solid. I got a little too cute trying to put like Chopper in there because that with Anakin would be like a free electroshock every round. But oftentimes,
that's not bad.
It's just like
okay.
Yeah, it really just depends. Like a lot of times, I only played 4, maybe 5 games. It was like I was getting Chopper like round 3 every game. And at that point, I don't know. I just felt like playing it, rolling it out, rolling Anakin out. I was just like too far behind type thing. Especially at that like round 3 stage where it's a little bit more critical to get in and get damage. But yeah, so I haven't played too much aside from them. I played a little bit of Plo Koon. And so Cassian definitely looks like super, super good, I guess, kind of. But that's where I'm kind of going. It's like, I don't know, people are hyping up Cassian a lot, and I think he's going to be good. And I want him because he looks like he can slot to a few different variants of decks. Like, obviously, you could do him with, like, Ayla. You could do him with, like, Finn. You could do him with double Partisans. And, yeah, it seems, like, super, super good. But, like, I don't know. Part of me is still, like, reserved. Like, I'm not completely on the train of Cassian, I don't think. I think he'll be good. But I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like, even that most value card thing that came out, which is super crazy because it has the cheapest legendary $25. It had Cassian as the $55. And I get what people see in him, but I don't know. You could tell me that I'm crazy, Tommy. I don't think he's going to necessarily be the in a few months. I don't think he's going to be the necessarily the best card out there. I think what he has going for him is that he's a 14-point yellow hero, more with like a good ability still. But I think if he was like a different color, he might not have been as hyped up.
So I think that mathematically, just on his damage output or mill output, depending on your preference, I think that he's easily one of the strongest cards in the set. Just because if you adjust his die faces to almost simulate what his damage output is, and not saying like yes the range damage is targeted and the mill is coming from hand or from both hand and deck. But I think if you just basically increase those values, the ranged values by one and the discard sides by one, and you looked at the card again, and even the resource side, if it said gain a resource and deal a damage or and mill a card, and then assess the card for 14 points, or I think he's 10-14 or 11-14, I can't remember. But it's kind of a crazy card when you think of it in that way, and that's kind of what it is. It's like playing a mini version of Palpatine, and they're going to want to remove those dice. His dice are going to be the dice that people are trying to remove as quick as possible because they're just more valuable than everything else. Plus, he brings Hero Yellow. We all know what easy pickings can do. There's some fantastic removal in Yellow, specifically the hero side. I think that he's just an obvious choice for a beast. And with that said, I'm probably just not going to play the character because I kind of looking to do something a little different. I think that's usually I said it in the article. I really like to let a meta develop, and I like to try to counter it. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do that, but I like to be a little off meta and have that advantage going in where people don't know exactly how to play against my deck or what's in my deck until you make top cut. Then usually lists are exchanged. Yeah. So I guess I'll jump in and say for my number 3 card, I'm going to take, man, I do hate to go all blue, but I am going to just go ahead and take the Dagger of Mortis. 3-crossed blue melee weapon. It's got 2 black melee sides, followed by a +3 melee side. Then what is it? Is it shield and resource? Is that correct? Let me see. Upgrade. Where is it on this spreadsheet? Dagger of Mortis. Yep, 1 shield, 1 resource. It has redeploy, and it has the text, before you resolve this die showing melee damage, you may move 1 shield from a blue character to attached character. So it's almost like a Shoto-esque ability, only on resolution. Maybe a little worse, maybe a little better, because it works a little differently in the regard that you can remove your opponent's shield, but then you'll gain it. So if your opponent has shields, which shields are good, so quite often your opponent is going to have shields on their character, you're going to be able to grab that shield and then deal your damage, which is nice because that's 1 less of your damage block, plus you're gaining 1 shield. So I really like this. It is unique. It is redeploy, however, though. It's got really solid sides. I'm thinking just 1 of this is fine, with lightsaber pull being a thing. Of course, eventually that would presumably rotate, so having 2 wouldn't be the end of the world either. I think it's a really strong upgrade card. Is it heirloom lightsaber? No, but it has redeploy no matter what color character it's on, and that shield ability might be enough to edge out the heirloom, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even, I mean, I know it has a +3, but I don't know. I think we've kind of seen in both mono blue and either side, hero or villain, they haven't had too much trouble linking up dice sides. As you've seen with blue villain, like they've had mauls, and they've generally always been able to resolve that. And heroes, I'd probably say the same, but they have a little bit less heavy hitting modifiers that they're trying to get out. But it's like, if you look at the heirloom, you almost view the 1 melee as a blank, unless it's like that 1 melee and the +3 on the ancient. Then you just kind of take it because it's still 4 damage. So it's like this, you're kind of going up from that 1 melee to a 2 melee, and the kind of trade-off is that your 3 damage side is now a modifier. But it's still like super good, and it just seems like, I don't know. There's almost like really weird situations where you could like get like, I almost picture like this in a Ray Ayla deck. You've got a Shoto and say an Ancient on Ray, and at that point your opponent is like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna try to just snipe Ayla off the board because she doesn't have any upgrades or anything like that. And then you put like a Dagger of Mortis on Ayla, and then you're like activating Ray, getting a shield from Shoto, and then moving it, and then resolving this and moving it from Ray over to Ayla as like another like just way to get shield and keep her alive. I don't know. It's just got like there's interesting dynamics within the game in which this can be useful. Just on top of it being like a Shoto, like you said. The only thing that does stink, it says you may move one shield from a blue character. So it does stink that it has to be like specific in that sense.
Let's be honest. Blue is
but
the
that's
color.
very likely. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like almost every deck you're gonna play against is probably gonna have blue, even if they're not like a shield heavy deck. But
I mean,
yeah.
you're going to see blue in, I'd venture to say about 75% of the decks you're going to play at any given, pseudo-competitive tournament. So I feel like that ability, there'll be games where it's not turned on. That's fine. It's like playing a card like Force Illusion. The upside outweighs the downside of, when you play Mill, this is a dead card. So I think that it's fine if you draw that kind of comparison.
No, yeah, it's definitely a card that you're probably putting in every blue melee deck. Like I think it's worth it. Pretty much in every deck. Yeah.
I mean, like if you're looking to run maybe 3 cost blue upgrades, then you'd run 2 heirlooms in this, and you're set. Unless you're trying the special chain or something. So I
built
think
to last, baby.
Built to last. There you go. Or Plo Koon double Padawans. I'm just gonna vomit upgrades.
Dude, Ezra, and then a 15-point character. So give me Luke. You want Ray? Dude, take whatever you want, man. And then you got this. That's good. I didn't even think about that. So I was just
father son.
Father son. There you go. Well, then you'd be short though, right? Anakin's 13 and 15, so you're 28.
No. Little Annie, Pod Racer Annie.
Oh, little Annie. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there you go, dude. There you go. The father's youngest version with the son's oldest version.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so that's Dagger. I had that on my list as well. I think it's just going to be a fantastic card to pull, and definitely one that I want. I'll probably, if I get to, I'll probably hold on to it because I got 2 of Maul's and then I traded one away, and then I kind of regretted it because of how good Maul's came to be.
Yeah, Maul's was fantastic.
Well, yeah,
is fantastic. Cool. Not was.
So Rex, so Ezra, Rex Blaster, Cassian, Snoke, and Dagger, what I kind of wrote down. But to expand, I'm really excited for the Hallfire droid tank. It just seems so good.
That's like I really want that from my box. I know that sounds stupid, but that goes in the me and Shane stupid deck. I want to play that card so bad.
Is Aphra in that deck?
Oh, Aphra's in that deck.
It has to be. Dude, I mean, the fact that
it's me and Shane's brainchild. It's perfect.
I mean, with what is it? It's a 4 cost, right? Play with Aphra that's 3, and it's got 2 range, 3 range, 2 indirect, 3 indirect, and after you play a vehicle, you can deal more damage. After you play a droid, you can act it. Like there's so much good stuff going on in there. Then you throw in 000.
I'm just not even going to say anything else about it because I'm just like, if the rest of my box was that, if the rest of my legendaries are that, I'm thrilled, even if that's 3, because we're going to want 2 playsets of this.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I'm just gonna, since we talked at length about a lot of these, I'm just gonna round out my 6. I'm gonna go ahead and say Ezra Saber. I said 3, right? I said Snoke, the Dagger. I said Luke. I'll say Ezra Saber. So yeah, I'm doing straight blue right now. I'll take a Hailfire droid tank, and I really don't care about the 5th brother's lightsaber. I know a lot of people think it's solid with him. I'm not sold. I don't care about Grievous. I like DJ a lot. I like Planetary Bombardment a lot. I'll take DJ in my last spot. That way I cover all the colors.
Seems bad, dude.
Seems bad. Thanks. Yeah, he's my dark horse.
He's like the only like legendary of that area almost. Like that point range that doesn't have his single die match up to his health, really. Is there anybody else that doesn't match up like that?
Well, I mean, what are you gonna have him have 13 health? I mean, it's not
No, no, no.
it's the
It was just
ability
interesting. Yeah. No, of
that's
course.
skewing him because it's that recurring damage. Now, granted, Cassian has recurring damage, but Cassian's trigger on his dice resolution, DJ, you could literally play 5 removal cards from hand and deal, anywhere from 5 to who knows how much damage.
No, no, yeah, I totally get why he would like if yeah, bumping him up to 13 health or bringing him down to 11, 14 would be a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dice aren't anything to go too crazy about, but 2 twos is fine.
Yeah, his dice are fine. I mean, he's 13, 16. He's a little on the expensive end. I kind of see him just off the top of my head with like maybe double stormtroopers and 2 best defense. I mean, best defense is a lot better when your opponent has to take 2 indirect when you play it.
Yep.
And double stormtroopers would give you plenty of range damage for him. You get access to you get red and yellow guns. Maybe you play on the hunt and remove dice every turn with that potentially. I don't know. I like him. I think there might be something
Agreed. 30 removal cards in your deck. Let's roll with it.
there. Yeah. So what were your 6 again, Jack?
Well, all right. So originally I had
Grievous'
Ezra.
Wheelbike.
Yeah, Grievous's Wheelbike, Grievous, the Planetary Bombardment, Formidable, and Dark Saber. Yeah, that's what. No, no. I wanted Ezra, Rex, Luke, Cassian, Snoke, and the dagger.
I like it.
For my 6.
I
So,
like it.
What's that? 4 blue.
Yeah, it's a lot of blue. It's a lot of blue every set. Get used to it, guys. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Force is cool.
Yeah, it's called Way of the Force, right?
Yeah,
guys?
Space Wizards. Come on.
There you go. Cool. So those are kind of our 6 hopefuls, but again, there's really none that I don't want to pull. I mean, there's a few towards the bottom, like both Grievous and his Wheelbike. I don't really want Formidable. Not really too excited about Dark Saber, but like, I mean, any of them, if I get them, I'd probably find a spot to play them because they're not like, I don't know. I don't feel like Legacies where I saw Rebellion Leader and Grand Moff, and I would, like, immediately in that moment, I was just like, no, please no. Especially Rebellion Leader. Whereas these, where I mean, maybe Grievous's bike probably falls into that category, but the rest of them, I'm fine with pulling. Like, there's definitely some I'll be less excited for, but
yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good spread. I feel like the power levels they go up and down, but I don't feel like they're as drastically spread out as some previous sets we've seen. Like even you said, even Grievous's Wheelbike, it's not the worst card. It's not what you want in your legendary slot, probably, but it's not a bad card. I think that there's a lot of good legendaries in this set. I like the way they rounded it out. I think there's a lot of unique interactions that we're going to see, and a lot of the legendaries really do feel legendary to me. So I'm happy about that.
Agreed. Cool. Anything else on the legendaries before I guess we'll talk about some of the standouts of rares?
Now let's do
or
it.
even, I mean, if you want to throw it on comment, like, I don't want to tell you what you have to say as a standout. All right, Tommy?
Listen, I'm at your service, Jack. You're the host. I'm the co-host. I'm along for the ride.
Nah, man, I'm definitely the passenger this episode. All right, some standouts. I mean, I don't know. I guess my like first 2 are maybe a little bit generic, but I wrote a whole article about Ezra. I'm so excited for him. I think he's just like, part of me is just like, how excited am I because I'm biased because I love Ezra Bridger as a Jedi, and how excited am I because like he's actually a really good character in Destiny, and I think I'm blurring the lines in my mind, but I do think he is good. But I'm just really excited to try just finding pairings with him. And like I said, I paired him with Elite Ayla, with himself at Elite, and then a single die Anakin, the younger version, and it's been pretty good. I tried him with Luke in a built to last deck that was really, really bad, and I got spanked by Mended, and he did Obi-Wan Ezra. So it's like there's so many just interesting slots where an 11-point character, elite 11-point damage dealing character can go, and his special is really cool too. So I don't know. I love the art. I don't know. This might just be like my favorite card of the set in terms of just like excitement and card and design, and I don't know. I'm just so excited for him.
I think you got good taste, Jack. I think he's awesome. I think I'm a big fan of any 11-point options because that really opens up what you can do for a 5 die start. And I mean, mathematically, starting with 5 dice is better than 4 dice. I know it's skewed because you don't know the value of the dice. In like in Cassian's case or in Luke's case or anything, the values on there, whatever it may be. But um, yeah, 11 points. I think he's got solid sides. I like his special. He's got a decent health pool. I think he's good. He's falls a little short of the Ayla, level of power, but I think that he's a really solid character. I think he's really good, and I think you got good taste. For me, my Ezra of this set, and we've said it before, is Arinda Price. I think Arinda Price is amazing. Um, she is a 10-13 with 10 health. She has a 2 melee, a 1 discard, a 1 resource, and 2 specials, followed by a blank. Her special states, turn another one of your dice to any side. If you control the battlefield, you may resolve that die, increasing its value by 1. I love the fact that you can immediately, turn a die and resolve it and kind of just treat the special as a focus and a modifier, a 1+1 modifier simultaneously. I think that's fantastic. You are going to need to control the battlefield with this character to get the most out of her. Otherwise, she's just special chaining. But I think she's really strong. And the one thing that I like about her more than I like about Snoke when comparing the two, yeah, she's got the 1 less health, and Snoke can really pour the damage on early with his power action. But in her case, she's got the 2 melee, he's got the 2 indirect. And his power action is really his main, the reason you're taking Snoke is for his power action. You're taking Price for her special side. And what I like about Price is when all the other characters are dead and Price is all that's left, any redeploy upgrades that go to Price or any supports that you have left, or even her 2 melee side, are capable of ending a game in conjunction with her specials. Her specials are still valuable in that end game situation where she's the last remaining character. So I think that she in a deck is going to feel a little bit more like a middle than like a big little style deck. I know that that's a lot of ills in there, but I hope that makes sense. That I think that she is going to be more capable of closing games as a support character than a character like Snoke. Now I know ideally Snoke is going to just deal so much damage early with that power action that it doesn't matter. You're gonna close the game before your big dies. But I think that's what I'm thinking with her. I'm in love with this character. I think this character is amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of shown. Like almost everybody's like just spotted it and just you know just talking about her. She's gonna be so good, and I think she's gonna make waves. She doesn't interest me. I guess special chaining really hasn't that much. And she's just kind of a little bit another version of that. But it's cool that villains are getting it. And yeah, 10, 13 points is a really good spot. 10 health. Like not only does she have the crazy special, she's got like a 2 melee side to go with it. So yeah, even if she is the last character alive, if you roll out and get a special, you could swing for 3 melee at bare minimum and try to possibly close out the game and mitigate dice and stuff like that. So yeah, I think she's a really good choice. And I am interested to see how her and Snoke compete at that 13-point slot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I honestly don't know which one's better. I'm just for some reason stuck on Price right now. Maybe just because I saw her first. I don't know.
The haircut.
It is the haircut. Yep. I told my wife, it's like you gotta mimic this.
You gotta get that. Oh man. All right, cool. What else am I excited for? I'm excited for 000. That's who I'm excited for.
Yeah. Who isn't?
I've enjoyed Aphra. I liked her a lot. Not to the level of Shane's weirdness with that 2 shield side and Aphra and stuff like that. But I knew, everybody kind of knew 000 was coming as a support character because BT was one and, C3PO was one. They're essentially in the same type of role. And you knew he was just going to click with Aphra. And he does. He's another support. He's got a 1 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee for $1, a 1 discard, 1 disrupt, a resource. Does he have no blanks? I'm reading this from a spreadsheet. It looks like he has no blanks.
Yeah, he has no blanks. That's amazing.
That's pretty crazy. And then his thing is after you deal indirect to yourself, you may deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. So when you roll out BT, you could do 2 damage and only take 1, which
He's
triple zero
amazing.
helps escalate that. And things like
Unmatched.
crash landing, things like dangerous maneuver, dude, he's good. And for 2, and really just 1 with Afra.
He's really really strong. Very excited for 000.
I think if you just like if you ignore what we talked about earlier with the droid Hellfire Cannon or whatever, and you just look at 000, I think even him just like upgrades Afra Dex so much.
I agree. I agree.
I'm so
I
excited.
think he makes Afra a little better all on his own. I think you combined him and the Hailfire droid together, and they both in conjunction make Afra. I don't think I'll put it this way: she might not be standard, lockdown viable, but she's not going anywhere in the trilogies format. She will be in the trilogies format for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean her with Tarkin was good already, and just adding this to it and adding options of other stuff too as well.
Yeah, I know everything gains
Uh,
options, but I feel like she really got some solid help.
yeah, exactly.
I'm crazy, but I like the Gungan Warrior. I like the 6 point characters. I'm intrigued by 3 and 4 wide decks, and I think that he's good. 1 melee, 2 indirect, 1 shield, 1 resource, 6 points, 6 health, gives you access to Hero Red. Um, I really like him. I'm just gonna pair him with Blaze of Glory because I think that that's where he's best. I think he would be awesome with Blaze of Glory and Into the Garbage Chute. I think that those are 2 awesome options. If you're
Yeah.
sporting 2 Gungan Warriors, you're good to go. And you're going to want to use ways to get damage on the Gungan Warrior before you just Blaze of Glory him right off the table. Unless you're playing an indirect damage deck, then it's great. It's very easy to get him in a situation where a powerful Blaze of Glory will shut down an opponent's turn. But again, I just want to point out that both Blaze of Glory and Into the Garbage Chute can't hit Luke Skywalker's dice. Um, but basically, I think that you would want to play him with things like Crash Landing or anything that would allow you to remove dice and then deal damage to your characters. I think he's a strong option for that. I don't think he's anything special. I mean, the new upgrade that they previewed for, or actually, I don't think it's been previewed, but I think it's been spoiled on Facebook, is the Electro Pole with 2 melee for 1, 2 disrupt, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. And it says before attached character would be defeated, you may move this upgrade to a Gungan. So pseudo redeploy there with the Electro Pole, but it's got 3/2 sides, so it's not a terrible upgrade. It costs 2. Probably doesn't find its way into your deck if you're running melee upgrades, just because there's better options, but it's an interesting card nonetheless. I like 6 point characters. I like it when they can grant you access to a color that you may not have had access to before. And it's nice to see Hero get that 6 point character.
Yeah, the Gungan Warrior was actually in contention for that Ayla Ezra deck as that third character.
Yeah. I mean, you could
I
go.
was
I was thinking about doing Ayla Ray Gungan personally.
Ayla Ray Gungan. Oh, the original Ray
Yeah, Ray 1.
action
Sorry.
cheating Ray 1. Yeah, I dig that a lot. I mean, he's good, and then especially with some of those new cards like we talked about. I mean, I don't remember what that one was already.
Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory. Yeah, you just said that where it's activate a character, remove as many dice, and deal all that damage to a character. Like the Gunga Warrior with that just seems
So it's got to be
perfect.
dice
And
showing
then
damage.
oh yeah, dice showing damage. Sorry.
Yeah. Nope.
Like that, and now getting like first aid as well as an upgrade over field mech. Like if you get a blowout turn 1, but you have first aid in your hand, you can really recoup from that. And
Yeah.
that I just think Red Hero is looking in a pretty good spot to where I am considering maybe splashing that over yellow in single die characters where they only have 6 or 7 health.
Which is interesting because you're losing easy pickings, which is I think it depends on how the meta shapes up. Honestly, I think if you're seeing a lot of specials and a lot of Luke, then you might want easy
Yeah.
pickings. If you're seeing just a lot of damage and as well as mill, then you're probably going to want easy pickings. And if you're not, and you're seeing a lot of just printed damage sides, then maybe you're going to want the Gungan Warrior.
Yeah, it's definitely a situational call, but I dig it, man. Um, do we want to do like one more each? Do we want to
Whatever
touch
you
that? I
want.
did a blue and a yellow. So let me see what
Oh man,
red.
I did two red.
Gungan Catapult.
Gungan Catapult.
No,
Go
thank
home.
you. um, I'm kind of excited for some of the supports that are coming out. In terms of like the Arc 170 Starfighter, that looks pretty cool. The Resistance Crate Speeder looks all right, I guess. Not too bad. Dude, the Imperial Troop Transport. I heard a really good podcast spoiled that. I'll make that joke a few more times. Don't worry.
I'm down with it.
Um, I don't know. I guess nothing in red is really honestly exciting me aside from Rex and to a lesser extent his blaster pistol. Um, I mean, I would say page as you, where Gunga Warrior, 6 points kind of opens up some stuff. I guess I am excited for Leia though. Just seeing what she opens up with Mill, just because she's a really good potential spot in there. She's got 11 health for 12-15. She's got a 2 focus, 1 discard, 2 discard, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. Power action is remove one of your character dice to discard cards from the top of the deck equal to the value showing on that die. As we kind of talked about, like Mill just seems to be getting a few more pieces, a few more options at least to see what else they can start to really just destroy with and say, you know what I mean? It's just like as Mill gets more options and more ways to stay alive, it's just going to do better and better. And even now, it's in a pretty good spot. Before these cards come out, it's only Achilles' heel is just Sabine, of course, where it could have 50% against all the other decks, which is still decent, but then have like a 1% against Sabine almost.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any cards. I think there was like a few that I remember seeing where it's like go through an opponent's like discard pile, take 3 cards, and like put them at the bottom of their deck or something like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah, you remove that card, or you put that card in the set aside zone.
Yeah, something along those
It's
lines where it's like basically
extract.
touching your opponent's
It's a
stuff.
gray, 0 cost event. Choose up to 3 cards in a player's discard pile and set them. Oh, and set them aside. I think it's in. Maybe this is. Maybe I'm reading a different card. I don't know.
Oh, there's a yellow one, and I think it's putting them back in a deck, but that one's even better for Sabine. I mean, and that's a 0 cost.
Yeah, 0 cost gray event. Extract neutral.
Yeah, I mean that, and I wonder if that's like worth it to play in a non-Sabine heavy meta. I'm trying to think like is there a lot of stuff that recycles that? I mean, not really. I mean, you have that new Luke's protection, or not Luke's protection, Luke's training coming out where you can play stuff from discard pile, but I don't know if that's enough to run extract. There's the Starship Graveyard, the battlefield where it's claimed, play something, support or upgrade on top of your deck.
Yeah.
But extract, it seems really like a hard counter to Sabine. But then it just doesn't seem super good against anything else. While you touch base on what you're thinking of next, I'm gonna see if I could find that card though that I was thinking of.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what else I want to touch on here. There was one what was the one I was looking for? I mean, I do like that Way of the Force one, where you can make a character elite. I think that's interesting. I like the fact that you can holocron that in, but I'm not sure that that's going to see a ton of play. I mean, I could see it happening for some characters, but I don't know if I would pay 3 for that, because I don't feel like you're going to be able to play it on a character like Palpatine 1 or something, a character that you're really going to have amazing value on with that. So I'm not 100% really sold on that. I think it's a really interesting card, but I'm not really sold on that. I don't know, man. This is tough.
Oh, I found I was in the wrong color was my issue.
Oh, is that what your problem was?
It's blue event. It's a 1 cost. Found memories. It says choose up to 3 cards in a player's discard pile and place them on the bottom of the deck in the order of your choice. Set this card aside. So it's not like great because they see that stuff again. But it's like mid game, early game Sabine. She already has a few guns. Just play that and get them back in her deck so she has less options to action cheat through. So
yeah,
that was the card I was thinking of.
You could always we could always just shout out First Aid again, one cost event, heal 2 damage from a red character, or 4 damage instead if it's the first round of the game. I mean, as long as you're healing red characters, it's almost like having, worst case scenario, you just have 4 field medics in your deck. If you play one on
Yeah.
turn 1, you heal for 4. So, I mean, I think that's an amazing card. I
Two
also
men.
like Pacify for 0 to remove a character die and give that character 2 shields. It's like a similar to Caution effect, but specifically that character and less shields. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of little gems in here, and I think that a really great way for us to learn this set is going to be to draft it. I think there's a lot to be gained by drafting this set, because it's really going to force you to look at these cards and use these cards in ways that you might not have assessed them initially, because you're just looking for that standard blowout potential.
Yeah. Pacify is basically just a blue of the bolt hole card, isn't it? Remove a character die, give that character. I think blue hole might have had that. Blue hole, bolt hole might have had. I think it said yellow character die.
Yeah, it might have.
I think something.
I think it was. I think it was yellow. It might even have
Yeah.
ambush. I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember it having that, but I'm not going to say I'm an expert on that card or saw it played too often.
Fair enough.
But yeah, all that stuff seems pretty cool. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I mean, I guess go to another rare too. Of course, Luke Skywalker's lightning rod is a solid upgrade that I think is going to see play. Of course,
it's really good.
I'm really excited to just see how the pod racers shape out and see if they do it. I was excited. I was like, oh, there's going to be another pod racer. We saw it on there, and then I saw the pod racer spoiled, and I didn't like it at all.
I think
it's only a 1 cost. What's that?
I think it's fine for 1 cost. I mean,
I just hate that after the die rolls a blank return. Like, it's like, all right, first action, play this. Second action, roll it out. Oh, I rolled a blank. All right, let me play it again. All right. Like, I know it only has 1 blank type thing, but I don't know. Just that potential, a 1 in 6 chance of returning into my hand, and that resource was now wasted.
Yeah,
just
but
makes me not want to
if you're playing a pod racer deck, you're kind of gambling anyway. Let's be honest.
True.
What's one more gamble? I think it's fine. I don't think it's too bad. It's even got the 2 indirect side for 1. I mean, it's got good die sides for 1 resource, so it's got to have a drawback like that.
If you say so.
I like it. I was excited to see that there was the 3rd pod racer, like you said, just because I like 1 pod racer. I know you can search it out, but just to have only 1 pod racer and them to be unique in either side, respectively, hero or villain, and it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
They needed something, and this generic one is fine. It fills that void. It does enough for me to scratch that thematic itch. I'll be happy to see if they expand on it in the following set, to see if we get even just 1 or 2 more pod racers. I think would be really interesting and fun.
Oh, you know what? No, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to play a pod racer deck. I'm going to play Boonta Eve Classic. I'm going to get 3 resources on that pod racer, and then I'm going to roll the blank.
You're going to bounce it.
Yep, it's going to bounce. It's going to go back to my hand, and I'm never going to get to get those 4 resources.
Wow. That's very pessimistic.
Gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, it just needed that 3rd one, so that way both sides have 2. Yeah, it seems fine. I don't know. I'd rather wish it was 2 cost and then didn't have that return to hand thing, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, it's risky, especially with the Boonta Eve. It definitely is.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to move on to? I mean, we have what are we gonna play early, but I think one of our questions kind of leads into that. We have a few Patreon questions that we were going to ask, so we could just hold off on the what we're going to play until we get to Shane's question, actually.
All right.
All right, so our first one is from J.R. Eldis, local to us, who's been super supportive. So shout out to you, Eldis, for just being awesome.
He's
all
also
around.
Super handsome.
Oh, yeah. He was at Worlds. I think it was like the first time I really got to talk with him, because he normally plays Wednesday nights, and I can't make Wednesday nights. So I didn't see him as often during the year, but got to meet him and talk to him more at Worlds, and dude, we've been best buds ever since.
He's the man. He was at Gen Con with us. He came up to our room. I was like, Eldis, I got this deck. I think it's good, but no one's playing it. And he's like, what is it? I was like, it's Elite Kylo, it's 9s, and a Stormtrooper. He was like, that's terrible. We played 3 games. He was like, I'm playing that. What's in here? Give me your list. He actually, I think he went 6 and... No, he didn't go 6 and... He went 5 and 3 with the deck and had never played it.
Nice.
So that's pretty good at Gen Con with 250 people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's a good player.
All right, so I'll read through just his whole question, and then we could just take because he's got like 3 in here. It looks like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll just read through everything, and then we can just kind of go from there.
You got it.
What cards are going to reshape the meta? Which old meta decks will be the best equipped to keep chugging forward? And how many 2 shield sides are there in a set? So doing a quick Control F search of 2 SH in this Google Doc, which has 2 shields, it says there's 8.
8. Look at that. Shane.
But we got Bendu's Lair. We got Count Dooku. We got Formidable. We've got Luke Skywalker, who has 2 shields.
Oh.
There is no try. It's got a 2 shield for $1. Anakin's Pod Racer has 2 shields. The N1 Starfighter has 2 shields.
Ooh.
And Stealthy has 2 shields. So those are all the 2 shields.
There you go.
There you go,
now
Elvis.
you know.
the more you know. Now you are equipped to be Shane.
G.I. Joe.
What cards are going to reshape the meta? I think it's, I mean, a lot of the ones we kind of already talked about, I guess, like the standout ones. I think Heroes finally have an 11-point melee, and Ezra is going to really help them kind of, I don't know if that's going to shape the meta, but just the amount of decks that we're going to see, I think is really just going to change a little bit from Hero standpoint. As we've kind of talked about, like some of those legendaries that we are expecting to see, like Luke Skywalker is going to change the meta. Cassian is going to change it. I think Rex is going to change it from the standpoint that I think people are just going to play him a lot early on. I think as the set goes on, he might fall out a little bit, but like early on, I think you're just going to see a lot of 3-wide decks. Plo Koon is going to shape it, of course, like that. So
yeah, I think to be a little more broad with that, I think that just the characters from this set are really going to shape the meta, and it's interesting just because, like we've said, we've really seen a different take on characters now, where your values are somewhat skewed. Yeah, there's still characters from the first cycle that are powerful, like Seventh Sister is just an amazing value because she's bringing an extra die with her and has, solid dice and solid health pool. But I think that we've just seen like an uptick in everything with examples of like Ayla and Mother Talzin and now Luke and Cassian, and we're just seeing like the characters as a whole headed in a new direction. I think that's really what's going to end up shaping the meta. Is the character pairings that we're taking. I think we're going to see, maybe 65 to 75% of decks or characters being used being characters from the Legacies block, in my opinion. That's just my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it goes, I think, too. Just when a new set comes out, everybody runs the really good characters from that set regardless.
Yeah.
So we see just character pairings favored in that sense. And they're trying to break those characters as well.
Just look at the 2-player box.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's what we think is going to reshape a little bit. Do you have any old meta decks that you think are really just going to keep?
Barring
keep on?
an FAQ, I mean, Sabine is going to be Sabine. She's going to be there. I don't know how many people are actually going to be playing her because of all the fun new tricks, and I don't think she got a particularly large amount of stuff, but unmitigatable damage is still unmitigatable damage, and hyperspace jump still ends turns and blows out slower decks, and it's a thing. I mean, she's good.
Yeah, we didn't get any ambush weapons, did we? Any ambush guns?
I don't
for yellow?
think so. I don't know. I didn't comb over that because it doesn't interest me nearly as much as you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, we got a heavy blaster and we got stealthy. Neither of ambush. And then upgrades for neutral or dark saber, Mandalorian van braces, respected.
I like the van braces. Those things are cool.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I like one cost upgrades, period. But those van braces are solid.
And it's essentially got redeploy, kind of, I guess, action, return it to your hand, then play it. You know what I mean? Like, it's got like some interesting things like that. Character's about to die, just take that action, return it to your hand so you can put it on your next one. Or even if that's the only upgrade you get first turn and you got some free mitigation, you could play it, roll out, action, return to hand, spend one, play it on the other character, roll out type thing.
Yeah.
Obviously it's slow, but yeah, it's got potential there. But yeah, there's no Sabine, ambush weapons. And like we talked about, like a lot of the decks that we named were kind of 3 wide, which she, as you get higher and higher health pools and stuff like that, and more options and more characters that can carry a game, she struggles a little bit. I think early on it could be super easy to run her because she's good, she's gonna just turn out damage, and if these new untested decks can't turn out that damage like she can, they're just gonna crumble under it. So early on, yeah, I definitely think she's good, but we'll just kind of have to see where the meta goes from there. If it starts to go to those 3 or 4 wide decks that can really just snipe a character like Drive By Shooting can, or Taxter's 4 wide deck as well.
Yeah, I mean, if she runs into a Kylo Snoke or a Kylo Price, I think that those are both going to be really solid matchups because they have high health pools, even though they're only 2 character decks, and they're decks that can potentially keep up with her damage output.
Oh yeah.
So I think that those will be 2 tough matchups for Sabine. So it really depends what we see from the meta. The one thing that I think we are going to see a decent amount of is Mill, and we know how that goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the counter to that is Sabine, who we'll see if she's played or not. I think Mill will come out, and once Mill comes out, we'll have Sabine start coming out more. And I think we'll have that healthy rotation that we had in Legacies.
Yeah, hopefully.
That meta, which would be a good thing. Other than that, like I don't know. I
mean, you could say vehicles, but I feel like it's totally retooled now.
Well, yeah. I mean, even looking at Worlds, you could just say vehicles, and you have 3 vastly
Yeah,
different
they're
decks.
just it's too broad of a deck archetype now.
Yeah, I think Ray Elam. So I think Stairs will still do. Like, I don't see that getting worse. I don't. I mean, if anything, it got a little bit better with some of the other weapons it can potentially punch out now with Ezra's lightsaber and Luke's lightning rod and the dagger of Mortis. So it got a few new toys to play with. I don't.
It's got the little
know.
bond too, I guess, right? You could act.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Like, I wonder how many of these new commons and uncommons it'll find useful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that depends on if people prefer Rey or Luke because they're kind of filling the same spot, or do you prefer to drop the ramping portion of the deck and drop Ayla and just go Luke Rey? I don't know. I don't know what is going to be optimal, or maybe it's just a preference thing. Maybe they're all going to be solid decks. They're all going to have very similar tools.
Yeah, so I think they're still in a good spot going forward. Yeah, and we talked there's 8 shields in this, 2 shield sides in this.
Yep.
All right, anything else you wanted to touch on with what cards are going to reshape, or what old meta decks are going to still be coming through?
No, I think I'm sticking with my initial thought of Sabine, but it's contingent on how prominent Mill becomes.
Yep. All right. We will move on to the next one. This one is from Shane, and his is, what's the first deck you're going to make assuming you pull what you want?
I'll take this one, Jack.
All right, let's hear about this.
The deck that me and Shane were working on is we want to play Elite Price, Single Die, Aphra, and a Battle Droid. We're going 3 wide. We're going to go full-on supports. We're probably just going to get murdered by Mill. The battlefield that we're going to use, what is it? The Hangar Bay one, where if you control it, the first vehicle you play each turn the cost is reduced by 1.
Is that Weapons Factory Alpha?
Maybe it's that. I think it is Weapons Factory Alpha, actually. Yes, whatever that one is, we're going to try to use Ground Battalion to maintain the battlefield, so that we can then play the Hailfire Droid Tank for 2 because it is a droid and a vehicle. Obviously, we'll be using 000, BT1, the Archangel, and if you're using the Archangel, you got to be using Partnership, because Partnership plus Price plus the Archangel means you're rolling out 3 supports in Price. If you hit one of those special sides, you're just dealing massive amounts of damage if you control the battlefield. The trick is controlling it long enough before your opponent claims it back with the Ground Battalion, and just getting the Ground Battalion on the table in the first place. The other thing that I really like about Price that sets her apart from Snoke a little bit is if you control the battlefield early and you have a chance cube on her, ramping for 4.
Yeah.
You get 2 turns worth of resources out of that. It's madness. So the deck can ramp if you're fortunate enough to get a chance cube, and if you don't, you're still able to play reduced cost droids and potentially reduced cost vehicles if you are able to get the battlefield during any turn. So that's just the general premise of the deck. I've always loved It's literally all the stupid cards that we've all loved between Aphra and Partnership and just really weird. He's always loved Ground Battalion as well. I've always loved the Archangel. I know he has as well. I really never sleeved up the Archangel for much, but I always thought it was amazing, specifically because of the synergy it has with Partnership. But I just think that there is so much there. The thing that we talked about with Mill was how to counter it. It's really hard because they can hit you with Hyperspace Jump or Retreat or something to limit your turns, and you're not going to have the best counter to that. So you're probably going to need to rely on Probe. But the other thing that's nice about this deck is with Partnership, you're going to be able to get your dice out and potentially have some unmitigatable damage for them. And also, you're going to have larger die sides between the Hailfire Droid Tank and the Ground Battalion. You'll have some larger die sides, which means you'll be able to output a fair amount of damage, hopefully quickly, if you're able to ramp. But who knows if you're even going to have a hand if they hit and run Commando Raid.
So the question is, do you have Planetary Bombardment?
I don't know. I'd have to lay it all out to really see. I mean, that would be, if you're running Planetary Bombardment, then you pretty much have to run Delve.
Yep.
I think is the thing. But if you're not running Planetary Bombardment, I think Delve gets cut.
Because what would the most expensive thing be? It'd be the Hailfire Droid Tank, which in theory you'll be getting down to whatchamacallit will cost 4.
Well, 3 in most situations, potentially 2.
Yeah, potentially 2. Yep. So then the most expensive would be the Ground Battalion, which that's 4, right?
It is 4, yes, but it's also not a vehicle or droid,
yeah.
So it's not a perfect synergy.
Yeah, so that you will actually have to pay for. So ideally, you get the chance cube off for that. But I dig it, man. As soon as you said that about this, I was just like, they're definitely doing. I know Tommy's been on Price and Shane's been on Aphra. So my question was,
we're trying.
Are they doing both of them with like profitable connections, or are they dropping one of their dice?
I like the 3-wide character build. I like the fact that you'll have a really good best defense target in the battle droid. I think that's really, really awesome for the deck. 26 health isn't anything to laugh at either. I doubt we might end up playing the landing craft. Who knows? Depends on how much money we're really able to make with that chance cube. So who knows where this goes? I don't know, but it just seemed fun and interesting and maybe good. Who knows?
Cool. I dig it, dude. I dig it. Well, basically what's going to happen with that, though, is that Shane's going to show up like the first week, win a tournament, never show up again, and claim that the deck is the best one on the meta. But then that's it. He'll never do a store championship with it.
Yeah.
I think
he'll be under the weather.
Yeah, exactly. He'll eat bad Chinese food again before. I think we got him locked down for Top Decks, I think. The 21st?
Yeah, he said he's going to be at like an ultimate Frisbee fest
for all the Kingsmen.
During all the Kingsmen one. So yeah, I think we have verbal commitment for Top Deck.
And also, so right now I'm pretty much going to 3 store championships. I'm doing the 21st, the 28th, and the 11th of August. That's at it.
Where's the 11th of August?
It's at Highlander, Booten.
Oh,
so.
Okay. That's a hike for me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to swing that one.
Well, yeah, there's still a few more closer ones that are looking to do it, but like I know, Rebel Gray is going to be there. I know Kevin from Jackalman Games is going to be there. Just so a few people just kind of figured make the drive a little bit easier since going up to see a few other content creators and stuff like that. I thought it'd be cool. Drew, nice. Drew and Arrow Brooks going to be there. Edwin's probably going to be there as well, so I think that'll actually be really competitive.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to see if I can make that trip. I don't know.
Man, dude, we got to rep. You don't want just me repping, all right? It's gonna end in bed.
Oh, you just repped at Worlds and you did fine. What we really don't want is just Shane repping. Let's be honest. Did you see him sneaking up on Jabba in that artwork?
Oh, dude, that was so
terrifying.
Funny.
Is it just me, or is his face on the Extreme Hubris card?
No, it's on the Jabba card. Oh, well, I see. All right, so yeah, your original joke was about that, but then I put it on the Jabba card, and then we put it on
Yeah,
the,
I loved it.
and now it's one of our
It was great.
emojis or whatever. I guess are they? I don't know what they're called
Yeah.
in our Discord. Oh, that's funny. All right, so yeah, my deck that I'm gonna play first is, um, what am I gonna play first? It's weird, dude. Like when Empire at War dropped, not Empire War, when Legacies dropped, the first deck I really tried pushing was like Rey, Ayla, Wookiee Warrior, and now the first deck that I'm gonna try to push with Way of the Force is gonna be Ayla, Ezra, Anakin. So it's like still 2 blue characters for melee and 1 yellow character. It's like I don't know why I'm drawn to that area so much, but it's either going to be that, it's either going to be Rex, or it's going to be a Plo Koon deck. I think is kind of one of those decks is going to be my first 3 that I'm going to try. I don't know. All of them just seem fun. I think 3 characters. There's just so many options now. With the amount of characters we have, including the non-uniques and stuff like that. Plo Koon, like there's just so many different combinations that you can roll with for him. You know, you could do the double Padawans, you could do a Padawan and an instructor, you could do, you know, a mill deck with him if you do the double partisans.
I pitched it in our Discord and I got laughed at, but I said single die Ayla, single die Rey, double Gungan, or you go Elite Ezra, Anakin, double Gungan. I'm just saying those 4 wide decks. I'm telling you, I love it.
I'm laughing
You
at
get eaten up by the detonators, but I love it.
Yeah, dude, Poe 1 is going to make a comeback and just destroy you.
Yeah.
Somebody else that I actually want to try, I mean, I've talked about how much I don't want to play Blue Villain normally, but Dooku kind of interests me.
Dooku looks cool. If you're able to get multiple activations out of that character in a single round, I think he is good.
Well, full shout outs to Rebel Spy for doing this. He did Dooku with Sienna Ree, and so it was like a leadership price of failure deck. And I was like, dude, he's like,
she should generate you some money.
Yeah, and he's the best character for. I mean, not the best, but like he's probably the most consistent character, is what I guess I should say. Like every time you do that, if you have $1, you're getting 3 damage bare minimum, plus any upgrades, of course, that you might have. So that just seems really, really good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean that's an expensive deck to run because if you're going to leadership, it's going to cost you a resource. If you're going to play any upgrades, if you're going to resolve his 3 side, if you're going to play removal cards, presumably, like there are some. Yeah. I could see that getting a bit pricey, and you just really have to be smart with how you're spending your resources and having them when you need them. But yeah, I definitely see the upside in that.
Yeah. So yeah, I like him a lot. So might be some form of combination, and I'll probably try to play with our spoilers as well. That's that for what I'm gonna play. And next question is Jedi Geek Girl. She asked, after seeing the set spoiled, has it changed your opinion about Way of the Force? And if so, in what ways? It has changed it, and my hype has gone through like the roof. I don't remember the last time I was this excited for any of the sets. I've definitely been.
It was Legacies, Jack.
It was January. I mean, I was, dude, and it's probably like one of those things where it's because like I'm in the moment with this now. It's the greatest set ever.
It's the new shiny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Captain Phasma.
But I don't know. Like this, I don't know. I just think this, with all the characters that they have in this, just makes it so much more exciting potentially than any past ones. I mean, so far my favorite release has probably been Spirit Rebellion because they had all this pre-release stuff, and that was just a lot of fun going from store to store with that. Empire at War just kind of came out, and Legacies was fun. It was a blast because that's when we started our podcast and everything. But I don't know. I feel like I feel different for Way of the Force, and I'm super excited for it. These cards just look so awesome, and looks like there's so many different combinations and deck archetypes that you can make. That I'm really excited to see where the competitive play goes. I'm excited to see where casual play goes. It's just there's going to be a lot of options, standard, draft, like just everything. I just want to just play it all.
All right, calm down. Take a deep breath.
Dude, I have to go away. It comes out Thursday. I have to leave on Sunday for a week. All right.
That's all right. We got our Learn to Play event on Thursday, July 5th. All the Kingsmen in Pittman. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have tons of veteran players there. We're going to be giving away tons of stuff. You're going to have a blast there. We're going to draft on Saturday. You're going to have a great weekend before you go away, and it's all going to be here when you get back. You'll
No,
be
you know
fine.
what's going to happen? We're going to host the Learn to Play event. Joe is going to walk in. He's going to buy all the boxes and then get all the raffle tickets and then just win everything. And then he's
We're
going to
not
go
giving
home.
Joe any raffle tickets for the record. Joe, you're exempt from raffle tickets.
Then he's going to go home and then he's just going to upload all the boxes to eBay and call it a day. No, he's going to open them all and then eBay everything else. And then he'll stare at his binder
What's
full
he, he's gonna buy all the planetary bombardments in the room.
and he'll keep that binder right next to his Magneto binder.
Yes,
Let's play.
they'll have magnetic attraction. I'll answer the question real quick. After seeing the set spoil, has it changed your opinion about Way of the Force? If so, in what ways? And my answer is yes. When I saw the initial preview and my jaw hit the floor when I laid eyes on Luke Skywalker, and then I realized, oh wait, that's just most of the characters in this set are just scaled up in that way of having more life to. I don't know if it's trying to prolong the game or what, but I feel like every character in the set has taken a step forward in power, and that might be power creep, or that may be them trying to prolong the game with the increased life totals. But I do see that theme running throughout the set and all the characters, so I am less concerned about Luke just being a single broken character in the set.
Agreed. All right, we good to hit our last one?
Let's do it.
All right, Alan, what current characters got a boost? We mentioned it, and the first one that's hopping in my mind is Aphra. And I think we're going to be saying this for when does she rotate out? How many more sets are in between there?
Yeah, a lot. It's four sets, so it will be 5 sets when she is finally.
And she doesn't
out.
lose anything when Awakenings rotates out, does she? I'm going through my mind. What's in that deck?
No, I think I really that deck that we talked about may not be standard. I'm probably going to use Aftermath in that deck because I love Aftermath, and having a battle droid with best defense, I could definitely see that being useful. But I don't think that. I think that deck is going to be an amazing trilogies deck. I know mill is a thing in trilogies, so you're going to have to do it. Oh, partnership was the other. Awakenings block card.
Yeah, I just don't think you're losing any dice cards.
No, right? Now is Tactical Mastery
that was reprinted?
That was reprinted, right? So you'll lose the synergy with the Archangel of being able to activate both those in one action. But Tactical Mastery is still going to be good.
Yep, agreed. Did you have a character you wanted to add as well, or?
Man, Aphra seems like the obvious choice to me. Outside of that, I mean, a lot of the characters that were already good are going to probably remain good. I don't think there's anything else jumping out to me other than Aphra. I mean, like Ayla, did Ayla really need a boost? No, she just has a lot of new partners and toys to play with now. Same with like Rey 1 and Kylo 2. Like, they're still going to be very, very prominent in this meta. I think the Kylo 2 decks, even going back to Eldis's question, I think anything with Kylo 2 is still going to be very relevant. I can't really think of any.
Talzin probably got a boost just from the fact that there's probably a handful of decent odd cost cards in there. Like, I haven't looked at them all, so I can't say specifically. Just like stuff like that where decks need certain things to operate are probably getting better a little bit. But yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that necessarily jumps to mind. I mean, like you said, those good characters are going to stay good. Like, Yoda is probably getting a few more toys and things he'll do and be annoying and special chain and stuff like that. So that'll probably just all stay the same in terms of that.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of movement anywhere, but Aphra is the clear winner in my opinion.
Agreed. Cool. And that does it for our discussion. What time are we at? We're at an hour 20 right now.
Yeah, you said it was going to be a short one.
Dude, I was exhausted. Still, I'm exhausted, and I'm not sure that everything I said made sense, dude. I said Cassian might not have been the best character, so.
The hype was driving you forward.
Yeah, the talk of death. Dude, I really haven't even played in like 2 weeks, really. It's been a struggle for me.
I can relate.
Why, dude? What do you have?
I don't know. I can't really think of it.
I'm pretty sure I will make that joke every episode.
Yeah. Well, he's sleeping like an angel in his crib
That's
right
good.
now. So
That's good, man. Um, well, let's start to wrap up. Dude, if anybody, this is legit. All right, so if anybody has seen our Facebook page or Twitter and saw the mall photo that we posted, our new alt art, dude, that thing looks sick. And I'm just saying, like, I really don't think I'm being biased in even saying that. Um, so I want to give a shout out to one of our patrons, Brian. He kind of reached out to us and was like, "Hey, I've been watching Rebels with my kids, and I just kind of wanted to design this card, and I thought it'd be cool if you guys used it." And
yeah,
it's gorgeous, man. It is really good.
it's ridiculous. It's so. I'm like. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of the custom alt art cards. Like, it's not something that I chase after. But I can honestly say that this artwork blew me away. I like the design, the template over top of it. I mean, Brian, you are the man. Thank you for sending that to us. We are so thrilled with how this thing has turned out, and we are just blown away. It is so cool. Everybody, I would really recommend you check it out on our Facebook page or any of the other outlets that Jack told you about, because it is a sweet looking card.
Yeah. And the fact that he just gave it to us, like, dude,
Yeah,
thanks so much.
like,
So we're gonna be hooking him up though. So
yeah, Brian, you are the man.
yes, definitely. So big thanks to that. I sent it to the printer, so it will be up on our stuff, and so we can promote it. So anybody on our that is already in our $5 tier for patronage, you guys don't have anything to worry about. Anybody that's looking to join, I don't know when this episode will drop, but it will be the reward for August. So if you get billed on August 4th, August 1st, for our stuff at the $5 tier, you will get this sent to you. So it's not a rush to get it in the next 2 days to get billed for July. The cards will not be in July. They will be in August. So if you're looking to get that, you can head over to Patreon / the Golden Dice or Golden. I think it's just Golden Dice. Yeah, just Golden Dice. Patreon.com / Golden Dice and our $5 tier. I think it's going to look really good. So I'm super excited for it. And that's that for the mall. Looking sweet. As Tommy mentioned earlier, we have our Learn to Play event coming up, which I think is going to be a great time. We're kind of jumping on the hype of the new set. So if you are in the South Jersey, Philadelphia area, you better be there. So like, I mean, you might have a better idea, Tommy. Do you know what all the stuff we currently have is to give away?
And we've gotten collections donated to us. We have like a stack of legendaries. We've got mounds and mounds of rares to give away. We've got commons and uncommons that we're going to be we're going to try to accumulate them into, something that resembles a playset, and just have stacks of those that we're just going to be handing out to any new player that wants to just get in and say, hey, here's, all the staples that we could come up with from Awakenings that you might ever want in your decks. The whole Awakenings block, and we're just trying to, get players caught up, get players in, make them feel welcome. We want to give stuff away. We're going to be doing something with the store. I know Steve, the owner of All the King's Men, has donated a ton of stuff to us. We have 3 2-player boxes that were donated to us to give away. So what we're going to be doing is, anybody that's interested in buying into the game, for every $5 they spend in the store, we're going to be issuing a raffle ticket to that person, so they can bring us their receipt, show us what they bought, and we're going to be giving them a raffle. And then at the end of the night, we're going to be drawing this raffle, which could take a while, and we're going to be giving away, I think you have a dice tray, Jack, a golden dice tray.
Yeah, we'll be giving away a dice tray, a mat,
some alt arts, right?
Yeah, some alt arts. Trying to think of what else we got that we didn't say already. I mean, I think that just about covers it. We got all these, like I said, we'll be giving out the commons and uncommons, but then we got rares and some legendaries to raffle off as well, along with your old Obi-Wan playmat as well, the one that you gave me when I first started. Yeah, yes. From the LCG. Yep.
And we're gonna open it up. We have a lot of veteran players that are going to be there as well, picking up their way of the Force stuff, that are going to stay and hang out and play games and help us teach people if we get overwhelmed. We'll all be wearing our Golden Dice shirts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably Joe and Eldest will as well. But we're going to open up the raffle for like the dice tray and the alt art promos and stuff like that. We're going to open that up a little bit to the veteran players. So what we're going to do is, if veteran players are spending money in the store, we're also going to give them raffle tickets, but we're going to hold them aside, and we're going to give away all the stuff that is the new player oriented lots first. And then once all that's given out, we're going to add the veteran player tickets to our pool and redraw for the mat, the dice tray, the alt arts, and all the things that they may be interested in as well.
Except for Joe.
And we're not going to be counting your pre-ordered boxes from Steve.
Yeah, so it would be something that was bought
yes,
that day, aside from that. I guess anybody that's interested too in like what this Learn to Play event will be, basically we have 4 games set up, and we did like thematic pairings going against each other. And yeah, we tried to make them as balanced as we could. And I think they will be, but and just even like within the decks, we didn't necessarily be like for example, this first deck, it's Qui-Gon Yoda versus 5 battle droids. Like Qui-Gon Yoda is not the best it can be. You know what I mean? Like we're not making it the meta deck. We're just literally just trying to put stuff in decks.
Yes, we're trying to give you an idea of what happens in the game, a little bit of everything. We're using a lot more one-ofs than we probably normally would, just to give players different looks. And we also built them to be slightly less defensive than they normally would, because the Qui-Gon Yoda deck is so heavy on shields. We've neutered its removal package to a degree so that the game doesn't just drag on forever.
Yep. Yeah, so we got that's our first one. Then we got Han Leia, the new Han and the old Leia, versus Vader 1 and a guard. So it's like that's the original trilogy one. That first one was obviously prequels. This next one is new trilogy, so it'll be R2-P2 versus the new Phasma. Is it the new Phasma or the old Phasma?
It's old Phasma, double First Order Stormtrooper. Or excuse me, 1 First Order Stormtrooper, 1 Guavian Enforcer.
1 Guavian. Okay. Nice. So yeah, so that's a throwback in the meta too as well.
Yeah, I lost to that at Gen Con. Taxter.
Yeah. I rocked that deck for a while. It was fun. I liked it a lot. Don't think it holds up anymore. But anyway, so that's our new trilogy. And then we have a Rogue One. It's going to be Jyn Erso and a Rebel Commando versus Krennic and a Death Trooper. So it's like, these games will just be played out. We'll help teach new people. Tommy and I are both doing, it's similar. It's called, I guess we'll call it the Golden Dice Challenge. If you just challenge us to a game, if you beat us, we'll buy you a pack from any set. Probably you would want Way of the Force, but any set. So that's something similar.
Any set that we pick.
What's that?
Any set that we pick for you.
Any set that we pick, yeah. I guess that's
open to new players. I don't want to be challenged by Joe several times throughout the night.
Yes, just there's also going to be like a cap. Like I'm not going to do this like 15 times, and I don't think if we would get to that number, but I'm not going to buy. And hopefully I wouldn't lose all 15 times. I really don't know. So
new players, they have to use the decks that we've constructed.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if they buy product, can feel free to construct a deck there.
Yep.
And if time permits, I'll play you.
Yeah, I'll have some. I'll try to bring some of my collections there and decks that I'm hoping, and try to see if I can throw together like a Way of the Force deck while I'm there, opening my boxes as well and stuff like that. So it's just going to be a really, really fun day. I'm excited for it. So that's our ideas. I figured I'd put out there and just tell you guys specifically kind of what is going on with that, just so in case you're looking to play Learn to Play event, you can kind of hear what Tommy, Shane, and I are doing, and we'll tell you how it went. And go from there. So, that's a week from today we're recording. So we would normally record on Thursdays. I guess we might not next Thursday.
We'll do it live from All the King's Men.
I wonder, my laptop has been funky. I probably could bring my laptop and a stand and this microphone and stuff like that. We could probably get that. So, I don't know. We'll talk about that, you and I, kind of off air, and along with Shane and stuff, and try to figure out if we want to do something like that. When the feelings are riding high, like right after the event, if we just record or something like that. I don't know. We'll talk. Yeah, that is all. Do you have anything else, Tommy?
Yeah, an hour and 30 minutes spent without Shane is a good hour and 30 minutes.
Amen to that. You guys want to check us out? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our WordPress, of course, but you can find all those articles are posted to both Facebook and Twitter as well. Yeah, and if you want to check out that mall alt art, definitely go ahead and do so. It's definitely on our Facebook page. It's on our Twitter, and I'll be getting it up on our Patreon as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
So.